Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com. Up here on the 2024 Unleashed 98, I got a fresh personal pair for myself and thought we would take the opportunity to do another one of these kind of on snow reviews. So we got Matt over here to my right. He's on a 186, Bob's behind the camera. The two of them will swap between the 186. I'm gonna ski my personal 180. My mount point's a little bit further forward, so maybe we can talk about that towards the end. And yeah, I'm gonna go do just a classic nosedive to Perry Merrill run here, and we'll meet you back on the lift and just have a casual chat about these skis. Probably ready for the sweetest stone hut jumps of all time.
It's unbelievable.
Okay, let's go. All right, run one in the books. Always fun getting to ski your own skis. I'll start there.
Right, you got your skis, you got your bindings
of
you got
choice.
your mount point.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yep, I don't have to worry about destroying them.
Nope.
Not that I did. I was very friendly to them. And yeah, Unleashed 98, as a reminder, this was a new ski for last year. It was basically a Soul Rider replacement. Just new graphic for 2024. Doesn't change that much. That ski that Matt's on over there is the 2023. Bob's actually on the Black Ops 98, which is fun because a lot of people ask about the comparison between these skis.
Yep.
So maybe that'll invite you to ask some further questions. And that was a lot of fun. Santa Ana construction in these things, basically. And something that I always think is important to point out is there is less rocker and less early taper in these than Enforcers.
Right.
So if anything, they're like a little bit more precise. We just came down a very soft, kind of messy groomer, and I thought they did well. Like, I like the way that the tip engages because it's got full width metal up there and it's wide. So it, like, even when the snow is soft like that, there's something to kind of engage and go. And there's not much limit to their stability, I would say.
No, that long effective edge due to that camber
Right.
really makes this thing smooth.
Right, there's a lot of camber in here.
Yeah.
And like tip to tail metal.
Right.
It's not full width metal in like the middle portions of the ski, but still tip to tail metal. So it's, yeah, it's smooth.
Yeah.
Matt, what'd you think?
I mean, I just felt hooked up the entire way down. You know, once you engage in a turn, it locks you in, and if, you know, you can finish it out nice and strong if you want, or you can disengage and then cut right back in the other direction. Either way, it engages really nicely, holds you there, and then if you want to disengage, more than welcome, or just keep plowing through. And, you know, I'm 6'2", 200 pounds, and I did not feel like I was really, you know, pushing these things too far. Like, they were giving a lot back, which felt really, really good.
Yeah, a
I'm always
lot of
excited to get on
responsiveness.
this. Yeah, I'm
Like-
always excited to get on this thing. It's just different than any other ski.
Yeah.
And for a twin tip, a true twin tip, these things carve like a dream.
Yeah,
They
which
feel
like,
great.
again, is like another thing that I feel like is important to remember. And then like, there is another side to that story, I think. Because they carve so well, they're not like, it's not super loose.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you compared it to, say, an M-Free 99. Like,
Yeah.
different story there. But yeah, super fun. Love the feedback that they give you.
Absolutely. They give
that's-
just as much back as you put into them.
Totally. So I'm gonna point the camera at Matt this time, see what Matt can do on the Unleashed 98. We're waiting for some bumps to soften up too. We'll try and get Bob to ski some bumps on them. What do you think
Sweet.
about that?
I don't think I'll have much of an issue.
No,
As long as they're soft.
usually don't have to twist your arm too much to ski some bumps.
No.
So yeah, we'll meet you after another run here and keep chatting about these skis.
Good. Yeah.
so yeah, that first run was so good. We basically just opted for the same exact thing.
Couldn't resist.
Matt, some 360, multiple 360s, some carving. You got a lot done in that one run.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show how much you can do with this thing in just one run.
Totally.
Swing weight, super low. It's just a fun ski.
Yeah, I think the swing weight is especially low if you consider the fact that there's metal in here. Like, you know, thinking of some lighter skis that we've skied this year, Bents, Playmakers, stuff like that. That's a different story with swing weight, I think. But yeah, considering how hard you can ski them, I think you're right. I think the swing weight is impressively light. And you had some interesting thoughts on carving and kind of bending different portions of this ski, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts again.
Yeah, it kind of had a 3D radius feel to it, you know, like if you really have your knees over your toes and really driving forward into the boot, you can get it to hook really nice and quick. But if you kind of stay in a little bit more of a relaxed position, a little bit more centered over your boot, you can make it nice, long, and cruisy, and still feel super stable and very in control.
Totally.
Which is nice, because sometimes you want to take those kind of turns, and sometimes you want something really quick and responsive.
I think it just makes the whole skiing experience more dynamic and more rewarding.
Of course.
Yeah. I also, like, at least following you with the camera, for me, there was like a visible difference between how my more center mounted 180s interact with snow, especially snow like that, and how a traditional mounted 186 interacted with that snow. It just looked like the ski stayed a little bit more composed for you, which I think is something to consider. You know, if you're buying this ski, I think everyone buying the ski is buying it for versatility, but if you buy it with like a strong focus on carving, I wouldn't move the bindings up too far.
No.
Because then I think you're going to take away some of what you were just talking about, is like really initiating up in the forebody.
For sure. And with the mounting point being back here, I still felt a very free ridey feel.
Perfect.
Which is great, because you, at least for me, I like my style of skiing is going back and forth in the same run.
Yep.
So it kind of embodies both of those aspects very well.
Sweet.
It does them both very well.
Things are softening up slowly up here. Bob, we sent you on a reconnaissance mission. What'd you find?
What did I say? Mixed?
Multifaceted.
And that's kind of what we're going to find on this next run here. Kind of a mix of firmer spring snow, softer spring snow, some moguls.
Love it.
Just a little bit of everything. That's kind of what this thing is all about.
So I think what we'll do is we'll switch Bob onto the Unleashed, maybe give the camera to Matt, and I'll suffer my way down whatever Bob has chosen for us. And then to finish here, we'll probably go do a couple park laps, because that's at least a big focus for me on my personal pair. And again, it's a Soul Rider replacement.
Right, it's got to do park.
Let's not forget that this ski replaced the Soul Rider. So we'll go see what Bob found for us, and we'll meet you in another run. Bob, I think you were spot on with multifaceted.
Got it all.
Yeah, it's firm up top, still a little frozen, and by the bottom it was kind of softening.
Yeah.
And as the resident mogul expert on this chairlift, what's your take on an Unleashed 98 in more of a technical setting like that?
I think the grip stands out the most.
Yeah.
From especially those bumps that we just did that were still
firm. Yeah.
Like, you're getting excellent grip coming out of the turn.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like that bent 100 that we did the other week, where you can really kind of manipulate the flex of the ski.
Correct.
It's a stiffer ski. It's a different animal in terms of the responsiveness out of it. The camber underfoot definitely accounts for something.
Right.
So not as smeary or slarvy in the moguls as a more flexible ski, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. You know, it just feels more like a 100mm underfoot ski with metal in it in the moguls.
Correct.
So while I would say, like, sure, that bent 90, bent 100, top of the list for skis of its class for bumps, you know, this is more of a mid-range option for that, which is I mean, that's fine. The things that it does well, like like the lower section, just standing on the edge and, you know, running it through its radius is incredibly rewarding. You know, both you and Matt talked to that as well, that the smoothness of it in that carved turn really stands out.
And that's basically like the aspect of this ski that you don't get on those looser, more forgiving skis.
Totally.
Like Bents, Playmakers. I'm sure there's more that I could throw into that that grouping. M399. Yeah, so I think it's fair to say that this ski is less forgiving in the bumps than some of those skis.
Totally.
Like I feel it. You know, both times I had you show me the line, and still both times I was like, I don't know what I'm doing in here. And I do feel like on a ski that's a little looser in the tail, I can compensate for, I don't want to say lack of skill, but maybe like lack of technique in a given moment.
Yeah, but like, you know, think about it in the extremes with something like, I don't know, a head super shape rally.
Oh, I mean,
really
it would be
flared out tail.
It'd be drastically different,
yeah,
right?
But I mean, I'm not saying that that's the same difference between like a bent 100 and this Unleashed, and like that rally, like a really more a more front side ski. But that's the general feeling that you get is, whoa, this tail is holding on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not, for a lot of skiers, that's not what they want.
Right.
In moguls or shorter terms.
But it is super fun when you learn it and trust it, and then can like kind of manipulate it and use it to your advantage.
Right. Plus you get the benefit.
Right.
Coming out of that bump line, and
then you can go rip.
Then you go rip.
Yeah.
So I think that's the big plus.
As we did with the bent, I feel like the last thing to do is to go ski some park. And I haven't skied much park on my personal pair here yet, so it's exciting for me selfishly.
And you get to do rails?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Kidding? I think maybe like first rail slides on these skis, which could be interesting.
All right.
Yeah. I hope I don't catch.
No, not with that attitude.
No, it should be fine. And then Bob, we also kind of talked briefly about maybe trying to find some smaller bumps over here.
Sounds good to me.
So we'll take a couple runs, we'll try and ski some park, try and find some softer bumps, and then we'll meet you back for one more lift ride and kind of summarize our thoughts. All right, wrapping things up here on the Unleashed 98. Always a pleasure to get on this ski. Bob, we did our best. I don't know if those moguls counted as totally soft moguls, but any further mogul thoughts?
Well, it was tricky because I was watching you come down, doing great, by the way.
No,
and I could see the snow coming up, so it I think it gave the illusion that they were
softer than they are.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you got to be quick with it. You know, if you're not I would not say that a beginner or an emerging mogul skier
should ski these.
Should opt for this. There are better choices.
Would tend to agree. Like QSD 92 comes to mind.
Totally. But that said, you know, again, it's the whole kind of package that we're looking at here. It's not just that mogul performance, but yeah, I mean, as long as you're quick on your feet and you're not too worried about having kind of a more cambered and stiffer tail, they're wonderful.
Yep. Super fun to bring them into the park. It's probably not surprising that the same things that I like about them outside of the park are what I like about them inside of the park, that being basically precision and stability.
Yeah.
Like they just feel like they're never like washy. It makes you ski with purpose, but that's like a nice reminder, at least for me personally, like don't be lazy, go do your trick. Don't just like kind of half-ass it, so to speak. Excuse me. So yeah, I really like that. I think I would say the same thing, and I think I've said it before, that I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner or an emerging intermediate park skier.
Right.
Again, I think there are better options, but if you're like pretty established, or if you've got some existing skills in the park and you want a really fun, versatile all-mountain ski, I think it's great. And I would say, Matt, you're a perfect example of that. Like, you obviously have a park background. Absolutely. We haven't skied park together very often, Today might be the first day. I actually can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously you've skied in the park before. I would make a guess that these days it's not your focus.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I always enjoy, you know, a walk in the park for sure.
Yep.
But just coming from somewhere that has such a small hill or a small vert, that was what we did, was park.
Right.
And then coming here now and having a mountain to explore, it's great. And these skis kind of fit that bill, you know, like if I want to, you know, ride off piste all day and then end of the day once the snow is soft in the park, these are perfect.
Right.
And something that really surprised me with our last run through was, even with a sheet of metal in it, I still felt this amazing pop coming off of the jump blips.
Yep.
You know, like it just gives you a really nice little jolt.
Yeah.
I really enjoy.
I think they did a good job, like kind of finding a sweet spot between the damping properties of metal and then the energetic flex of a wood core and a good amount of camber.
Exactly.
Because I feel the same thing, and I think like when you're just ripping around as an all mountain ski, they're so smooth and damp that it like you start to think like, oh, these probably aren't going to be very energetic or very snappy, and they kind of surprise you in that sense, which I like.
Totally.
So this was fun. Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bob, thank you as always for sharing your mogul expertise.
I like moguls.
Are we gonna do anything on this run?
Have fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I think that's a good thing to do.
All right, so we're gonna go have some fun. Let us know if you have any Unleashed 98 questions, and we will talk to you soon.